have equal talents, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our own talents. Dear students, do you know who inscribed these words? Obviously, the great Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So students, we are here with a new chapter today from class 9 Bihayu, and the name of the chapter is My Childhood. Students, the story My Childhood is an extract from the book Wings of Fire. It's an autobiography written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The book covers his early life and his work in Indian space research and missile development program. It's an inspiring story of a boy from a very humble background, later who became the President of India and one of the most renowned scientists of the world. His life is an illustration of the fact that one can achieve anything if one desires and works hard to achieve it. Basically, what is the theme of this story? The story My Childhood is an extract from the autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam titled The Wings of Fire. It's an account of a boy who tries to achieve his goal, his dreams by beating all the odds. He belonged to an orthodox society where most of the people were not open to secularism. In spite of that, he remained true to his friends because of the support of his family. This story also emphasizes the importance of family, friends, and relatives finally who help to achieve the goals converting into a reality, the dreams converting into reality. Let's talk about the writer. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Awal Fakir Jainuddin Abdul Kalam, was an aerospace scientist who served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. He was born and raised in Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu, and studied physics and aerospace engineering. Let's begin. My childhood. I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameswaram in the erstwhile Madras state. Here Dr. Abdul Kalam, he says that he was born into a middle class Tamil family and his place of birth, Rameswaram, is an island town in the state of Tamil Nadu, in the Bay of Bengal. Today, we know that this state as Tamil Nadu, but when he was born, at that time, the state was known as Madras state. My father, Jainuddin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. No words and meanings here. Innate means inborn, a quality or feeling in one's nature. Now, what generosity of spirit means his soul sought to help others who were needy. So he explains APJ's father's name was Jainuddin. APJ says that his father was not very rich. He didn't have wealth. He was not highly educated, but despite these disadvantages, he had some other qualities. He was naturally very wise and was generous too. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashiamma. Now he talks about his mother. His mother's name was Ashiamma. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I'm quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our own family put together. What he talks about his mother, he says us that his mother was very generous, she was very supportive, and she was very helpful. Every day, she used to feed a lot of people. She fed a greater number of people from outside than the total number of the members in her family. I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. Later he says that his looks were undistinguished. What undistinguished means? Very ordinary and common. Here Abdul Kalam, he says he had many siblings. See here, I was one of many children, means he had many siblings, and he describes himself that he had short height and common looks. He didn't have any exceptional looks. On the contrary, his parents were very tall and handsome. They were good looking, and APJ did not inherit their physical qualities. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large Pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. Now, Pakka house means a house made of bricks, cement, and limestone. Here, what he says, APJ Kalam's ancestral house. Ancestral means belonging to forefathers. It was very old. It was built in 19th century. It was a Pakka house which was made of bricks and limestone. It is located on the Mosque Street in Rameshwar. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicine, or clothes. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. Now, here, austere means very simple, austere and severe. Then the next word, difficult word, is secure. Actually, safe, that's not difficult one. Materially means in terms of things like clothes and medicines, and emotionally means in terms of love and affection. APJ's father, though was not very rich or very educated, though he was very simple, but he was strict also. He wanted to live his life in a simple way, and he used to teach his children not to waste money or unnecessary things. These are some of the qualities he inherited from his parents, particularly from his father. APJ says that his father used to avoid any kind of inessential comforts and luxuries. He provided them all the necessary things, whatever was required, like food, clothes, and medicines. APJ even says that his parents fulfilled all his needs which he required, whether it was any tangible thing or their love and affection. This shows that he has the quality of gratitude. Here, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam expressed gratitude whatever his parents did for him. APJ is thankful to his parents for whatever they did for him. The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. When the Second World War began, that time Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was only 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop on Mosque Street. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. Now, what he says, tamarind seeds, few words. Tamarind seeds, a kind of fruit. Princely sum means generous amount, but here it's used in an ironic way. Anna, it is an old Indian coin worth about 6 paise. So, the demand for tamarind seeds increased in the market. APJ used to collect and sell the tamarind seeds to a provision shop. What is provision shop? Where you get all the daily required things, located on Mosque Street. He would earn a mere sum of 1 anna, which equals 6 paise. When the when he addresses it as a princely slum, something very great and valuable, he is being ironic as the amount was very meager. Meager means not sufficient, not enough. At that time, this one anna meant a lot of money to him. My brother in law Jalaluddin would tell me stories about the war, which would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dinamani. Dinamani, a Tamil daily newspaper. APJ Abdul Kalam's brother in law Jalaluddin used to tell him the stories of the ongoing World War. Later, APJ used to read the newspaper Dinamani and used to look for the news of the same stories. Next, he says, our area being isolated was completely unaffected by the war. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces and something like a state of emergency was declared. Now his area was isolated. Why isolated? It was cut off as it's an island. Allied forces means the armies of UK, USA and Russia during the Second World War. We all know the history. So Rameshwaram was a small island town far away from land. So it was not affected by the World War in the beginning. But after some time, India had to join the war and combined with the Allied forces. Then a state of emergency was declared in the country. During the emergency, we all know the presidential rule is implemented in the country. It's like a curfew in the country. A lot of privilege which are given to the people are withdrawn, as we learned in civics. The first casualty came in the form of suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station. The newspaper now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhanuskodi. Casualty means here loss. Suspension means end and halt means stop. The first impact of the World War. What casualty means impact? The first impact of the World War II on the people of Rameshwaram was cancellation of the train stoppage at the Rameshwaram station. Earlier, the train which came from India used to stop at Rameshwaram station and then went further for Dhanuskodi. But now, the halt was cancelled and the train went from India to Dhanuskodi without stopping at Rameshwaram. With this, the newspaper bundle which used to come for Rameshwaram was thrown out of the moving train as it reached Rameshwaram road. That forced my cousin Samsuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally I filled the slot. Fill the slot means fit into a place easily. APJ Abdul Kalam's cousin Samsuddin, who used to distribute the newspapers in Rameshwaram, as the train stoppage was cancelled and the newspaper bundle was thrown out of the moving train, he needed someone to help him catch it. APJ helped Samsuddin by catching the bundles and distributing the newspapers. In return, Samsuddin paid him a salary which was APJ's first earning. Samsuddin helped me earn my first wages. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. What is pride means? Sudden increase in the feeling of satisfaction. Okay, what happened? Half a century later, I still feel. Now he says that the incident after 50 years ago, even now when he wrote the book, he could feel satisfied and proud of himself. APJ says that whenever someone earns his first money or first salary or first wages with hard work, he feels it the same way as he did. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment and trained in a certain ways by figures of authority. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father, From my mother, I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness, and so did my three brothers and sisters. Now, figures of authority means a person who had authority over another person, particularly a person who has the power to give orders or make decisions. Inherited means a characteristic or a quality which you have got from your parents or ancestors. Socio-economic means in terms of money. So here he says that for a child, the figure of authority is his parents, and the next figure of authority can be his teacher. A person who has authority over the child, APJ is saying that whenever a child is born, he has some qualities which he acquires from the elders in his family. This depends upon the social status of the family and the environment at home. From his father, he inherited honesty and self discipline, and from his mother, he inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness. His siblings also inherited these qualities from their parents. I had three close friends in my childhood: Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Shiv Prakashan. All these boys were from Orthodox Hindi Brahmin family. Orthodox means strict. Here APJ says that he had three best friends during the childhood. Their names were Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Shiv Prakashan. And all of them belonged to very strict Hindu family, Brahmin family, and were ardent followers of the religions. As children, none of us ever felt any difference among ourselves because of our religious differences and upbringing. In fact, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, the high priest of Rameshwaram temple. Later, he took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. Arvindan went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims, and Shiv Prakashan became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. As APJ was from a Muslim family, he says that during his childhood, all the children were so close to each other that they never felt they belonged to a different religion. Religion was not a barrier in their friendship. There is a very famous temple in Rameshwaram, the Rameshwaram temple. APJ's best friend Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, the priest of the temple. When these three friends grew up, Ramananda Shastri took the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple. Arvindan started the business of transporting the pilgrims and from the Rameshwaram temple, and Shiv Prakashan, the third one, he became a catering contractor for the Southern Railway. He was in charge of the catering for the railways. During the annual Sri Sita Ram Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site situated in the middle of the pond called Ram Tirth, which was near our house. Now later, Ram Kalyanam means what? Actually, Ram Kalyanam, it is a ceremony known as Kalyanotsav. It means marriage festival. In South India, marriage is known as Kalyanam. So Lord Ram and Sita's marriage is called Sita Ram Kalyanam ceremony. It is the ceremony of depiction of the marriage between Sita and Rama. Whenever Sri Sita Ram Kalyanam ceremony used to take place, then APJ's family also took part in it. They used to arrange the boats for it. They used to make the special platforms on the boats on which the statue of Ram and Sita were placed and transported from the temple to the marriage site, which was in the middle of pond named Ram Tirtha. This pond was near APJ's house. When he was growing up, he never thought that there was any difference between Hindus and Muslims, as they participated in the Hindu festivals wholeheartedly. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the Prophet were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. APJ again says that they listened to the stories from Ramayana and the life of the prophet from their mother and grandmother as bedtime stories. So they listened to stories of both Hindu gods and Muslim gods. There was no difference on grounds of religion. One day, when I was in the fifth standard as the Rameswaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I always sat in the front row next to Ramnada Sastri, who wore the sacred thread. Now, later, what happened? As APJ Abdul Kalam was belonged to a Muslim family, he used to wear a cap on his head, which identified him as a Muslim. Obviously, his friend Ramnada Sastri, who was the son of the priest of Rameswaram temple, belonged to a Hindu Brahmin family and used to wear the sacred thread worn by Brahmins. When these children were in class, a new teacher came to their class. APJ Kalam recalls an incident which happened then. One day, when I was in the fifth standard at Rameswaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap that we already read. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramnada Sastri. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. As the new teacher, he came in the class. Couldn't stomach means could not tolerate, and downcast means sad or depressed. The new teacher could not tolerate that a Hindu priest's son was sitting next to a Muslim boy. He told APJ to go and sit on the last bench as he belonged to a lower rank of the society. Both the children felt very bad when APJ changed his seat and went back and sat on the last bench. Ramnada felt very bad. APJ still remembers the image of his friend Ramnada crying. You know what type of friendship they had. It left a lifelong impression on Kalam of his friend's feelings for him. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Sastri summoned the teacher and in our presence told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of the innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Shastri conveyed utterly reformed this young teacher. Now what happened? Summon word and meanings. Summon means called. Bluntly means speaking in a direct way. Upset means apologies means seek pardon. Quit means to leave. Conviction means a strong opinion or belief, and convey means communicated. Both children went home later after this incident and told their parents about this incident, and Ramnada's father Lakshmana Sastri called the new teacher and scolded him. He told him not to kill the children's friendship by putting the venomous discrimination of caste and religion into their innocent minds. Lakshmana Shastri was very clear in himself. He told the teacher, either you ask sorry for the wrong and have done, or else leave the school and Rameshwaram town also. The teacher asked sorry for the mistake and he had done, and due to Lakshmana Shastri's determination, his thoughts about religion and caste changed. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher, Shiva Subramania Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative wife, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of big cities. Now, here, rigid means very strict, segregation means separation, orthodox means one who follows the religion very strictly. Then conservative means traditional, rebel in opposition of something, mingle means interact with each other, and on par means at the same level. The division of society into four groups. We all know that Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Shudras was strictly followed in Rameshwaram. Abdul Kalam's science teacher Subramania Iyer was a religious man, an orthodox Brahmin, but was a rebellious type of person. He did not believe in distinction on basis of caste system. He worked very hard to break these social barriers. He wanted that people of different castes should interact with each other. Though he belonged to a very orthodox family, but he always encouraged APJ Abdul Kalam to work hard so that he could be at the same level as the highly educated people who lived in big cities. One day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Shiv Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife, but instead served me with food with his own hands and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after meal. Now, ritually pure means kept protected from outside influences for the observation of religion. Perturbed means upset. Subramania's wife, she belonged to a traditional and orthodox Brahmin family. She followed the religion very strictly, and to keep the kitchen pure, no one from an inferior religion was allowed to enter the kitchen. When Subramania Iyer called APJ Abdul Kalam for dinner at his home, his wife feared that a boy from a Muslim family would make her kitchen impure. She refused to serve him food in the kitchen. Subramania Iyer was neither upset nor angry. He himself served food to APJ and sat down beside him to it. His wife actually stood beside the kitchen door and looked at APJ while he was having food. APJ says that he doesn't think that he felt there was any difference in the way he was having his food, or the way he was drinking water, or the way he cleaned the floor after the meal. He wants to highlight that religion does not matter, as it does not alter the way in which the person eats. When I was leaving his house, Subramania Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. Hesitation means doubt or delay. Confronted means faced. When APJ was about to leave Subramania's house, he invited him for dinner once again. When Shiva Subramania Iyer, when he saw that Abdul Kalam, he was a little hesitant, he asked him not to upset. He added that if he had decided to change the system, to go against the norms of the society, he had to be strong and brave and confront this situation. When I visited his house in the next week, Shiv Subramania Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. When he visited Shiv Subramanya Iyer's house for the dinner, he found that his wife made him sit in the kitchen and served him food with her own hands. This is the change, transformation that happened. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. Imminent means about to happen. Unprecedented means never done or no before. And optimism means very hope. When the Second World War got over in the year 1945, India was about to get freedom, which happened in the year 1947. M.K. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, known as the father of the nation, was a crucial part of the India's freedom struggle. He said that Indians would build their own India. The entire country was filled with hope and happiness. Everyone was experiencing such a feeling that they had never felt before. Everyone was hoping that now they would get their freedom. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameswaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. He told me, if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? APJ asked his father to allow him to go to Ramanathapuram, which was the district headquarters for higher studies. Now, seagull means it's a bird, a seabird. In reply, his father told him that he knew that APJ needed to go away so that he could move ahead in life. He gave the example of a seagull which flies away in the sky all alone and does not have a nest. It means it does not have a home of its own, as keeps on flying one place to another. He quoted Khalil Gibran to my mother, your children are not your children, they are the sons and daughters of life's belonging for itself. They come through you but not from you. You may give them your love but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. Longing means your desire. And this poem that's been referred here, it's excerpted from Your Children, written by Khalil Gibran. APJ's mother came to know that he was about to leave. Obviously, she felt bad and she didn't want to get separated from her child. But she got upset as APJ's father tried to calm her down and told a few lines from a famous poem titled Your Children, written by Khalil Gibran. He said that your children are not your children. They are the children of life. Don't think that you can rule your children. They are a result of life's desire for itself. They have their own thoughts. He asked her to give them freedom to fulfill their thoughts. And in this way, it's a very inspirational and beautiful biographical account of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Now, while concluding, I would have a thought for you. If you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. That's very inspirational. I hope you must have understood it and you would have some kind of inspiration from this chapter. Thank you.